All right, I have the official go-ahead. It looks like we are ready to start Virtual Hydlide. My name is Silverdeeds, or you can find me on social media, AGDeeds. I'll be hosting here. Let's send it over to mechalink.
Woo! Sorry about the camera back there. It could have been worse. It could have been at like 5 frames per second, which is what I'll be treating you to with Virtual Hydlide, English edition, random quote-unquote seed on easy. Random being, normally we would use create world randomly, but for the marathon, we have an incentive. What code am I entering for the seed?
All right, I'm giving it one final forced refresh here. It does look like the name of the seed will be EEL9s. So that's all caps spelled with a double E at the front. So that's EELNINES. For $149, I believe we had several donations going towards this name.
All right, EO9s with 2 spaces at the end. Okay. All right, that is a seed name. All right.
Yes, that is correct.
Yep. Okay, so time will start 20 seconds after I confirm this. So 23, 22, 21, 20. So yeah, Virtual Hydlide, Saturn Classic. If the frame rate weren't so bad, you probably would never have heard of it. It's a remake of the original 10 seconds. It's a remake of the original Hydlide. And any moment now, you'll be seeing... there we go. This is what we're here for. I need to turn around and go that way. Yes! Run, Jim! Do it! So these are the 4 to 5 frames per second you donated for. The world in Virtual Hydlide. Whoa. I will take that. Which tool was that? Fairy Tears? That'll speed things up. All right, moving on. There are a bunch of items on the world map. You almost never find them because the world map is 2,500 squares of stuff. Most of it green and gray, and okay, well, that's where the shop is. Nice to know. Don't have any money yet, or score. There's our slimes. Don't worry, unlike normal Virtual Hydlide. Wait, was that? No way. Okay, no. I was right. There's more stuff on the world map. I thought for a second that I had seen a patch of herbs, which could be poisoned, because for some reason we needed that. All right, here we go. This is the normal vanilla first thing you do. We'll do it a lot of the time just because it's a free level, and doubling your defense is pretty good. Makes a big difference. But yeah, this is random seed, so I've never played this seed before, and I don't know where anything is. So I'm going to have to figure it out based on my knowledge of how Virtual Hydlide comes together. So I'll take a free armor if it's decent. And then this big one here is the one the blue line is pointing towards. That blue line being more guidance than you ever got in the original Hydlide. The original Hydlide was known for being inscrutable. Virtual Hydlide improved on that already, despite the frame rate, by having a compass telling you where to go. All right, so got some armor, we got some money, we got a level, and now I'm going to start skipping things because I don't want to do the Vampire's Mansion if I can help it. Map, please. That's the mansion, then based on the colors of the terrain, I can make a reasonable, or the positions of the things, I can make a reasonable guess as to what is where. So I'm going to be trying to get to the ruins. Next. That would be ideal. While I'm doing this long run, if you've got any early donations that you'd like to cover or other announcements.
I sure do. We have Aiko Hewa donated $75 to say, ready to see all 4 frames of virtual Hydlide. Let's...
Yeah, see, that's a number I appreciate. People say, "Oh, it's seconds per frame." It's like, no. It's frames per second. It's just not many of them. All right. So yeah, these teleport squares go top to bottom, left to right, as a lot of things do. I'm going to guess that this is. All right, Fairy Forest. That is something we wanted to find. This is a hot and cold game on easy. You balance out your left and right channels, you go to the most noisy place, and you get the fairy. Great. All right. So 50-50 on whether the place I'm going right now is somewhere I can be or somewhere that would kill me instantly if I went inside. Yep. So yeah, as Vani mentioned and I mentioned in the interview, this is based on a golf game by the same company. The engine is. I would guess that is the source of a lot of the frame rate problems, because those are 2 differently optimized cases. But sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do to get the game out the door on time, you know? Nothing wrong with that. Alright, that is not where I want to be. That place kills me instantly. And now we know where that is, so that's where I want to be. And that's really far away, and that sucks. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Yeah. I mean, that's why I seed hunt in fixed seed games, right? Like, that's why I spend all my time for those looking for better seeds or finding ways to look for better seeds, because sometimes things are just half a world away from each other and you're just very, very sad and you just run for a very, very long time. If there's any more donations while I find my way to the ruins, feel free.
All right. Well, we have $25 from Cardboard Decoy saying, "Hi, RPG LB. I missed the return last year, but I caught it this year. Glad to see everyone back."
Oh, that's great to hear.
We also had $50 with no comment from Iron Furts. Thank you so much for your $50 contribution towards Nami.
Alright. So talk about the seed for a second, right? Like, as the donation mentioned, there are 32 characters available for these seeds. Right, like alphas, space, comma, period, male sign, female sign, and something else I've forgotten. But yeah, it's 32 characters exactly, and that plays into the fact that underneath all of it, it's actually just a long int. So, about 4 billion seeds underneath the covers. All right, so we're supposed to use a lens to get in there. We don't need to. So now we see if this ruins is nice or terrible. Come on, nice. My practices have been good, so there's no way it's happening here. Come on, nice. Don't make me have to walk the whole thing. 20 seconds later, find out. This is okay. I've seen better, I've seen worse. All right. So just like the main map, all of the dungeons are procedurally generated as well. To their own degree. Right, it's not like pure random mazing. Some of them aren't as rectilinear as this. Hi, Spikes. So we're looking for the secret doors into this place, which could be on any side. I will check out that club. If it's the heaviest club, then it's the club I want. Let's take a look at the gear we picked up. Okay, so that extra armor was leather armor +1. Great. Okay. So don't need that. All right, and there's no entrance on this side, so now we have to go around, which does not surprise me, but doesn't make me happy. This is, if you play the original Hydlide, this is the dungeon that all the ropers were in. And there are ropers in this dungeon too. I actually haven't seen many of them. Okay. So each of those boxes, there's a roper. Hi, new roper. Each of the boxes that I got turned around, that you see that appears to have no entrance actually has a secret entrance. And so that's what I'm trying to find. Again, there's a lens that's supposed to help you out, but oh wow! And this is why we're running the US version. That I didn't lose all my money by taking spikes to the back. I was against the wall too. That was usually you don't trigger those. Here's your a fighting game like continue screen for some reason. All it needs is like Jim Hydlide blowing on like a fuse or something. All right, it'll put me back at the beginning of the maze, but whatever. Like I said, this dungeon isn't the worst ruins. All right. Plus, we got a leather armor +1, so I mean, that's a survival bit. This time I see the shield. Gimme. There's a chance that's a shield that I actually want. More likely it's not, but didn't get me this time, Spikes. This way. Down and around. Okay. Trying to get over here and check against this wall. And this is where the spikes were last time. So we're just going to hug this wall even tighter than I normally would. It's right there. This is the secret entrance. You can tell because there's a big divot in the wall. All right, this is the thing we need to survive in the volcano. So great. Got that. Yes, that's the shield we need. Remove. Show me X. Warhammer is good enough. Yeah, Warhammer is good enough. All right. Yeah, I know I'm heavily equipped. All right. All right. This will be sufficient. This actually saves me a lot of having to buy stuff, which is convenient. Hey, buddy. This time I want to die. Help. Okay. Try that again. There we go. This is just a standard death warp because walking takes time and dying takes less time. I mean, it still takes a lot of time, as you can notice by the blank loading screens. Early disc gaming. Nothing quite like it. If the host has anything that they'd like to say, not a bad time, because I'm just going to head out and go immediately to the volcano.
Well, you were discussing, you're explaining the naming the seed incentive here. I just wanted to help you double check the symbols. So the notes here say on the incentive 10 characters plus period, comma, ampersand.
Ampersand's the other one.
Yeah,
okay.
Male symbol, female symbol. What a random arrangement of symbols.
Yeah,
there.
it's it's exactly 32, right? Like, which is the thing that stood out to me in the first place when I looked at it. I was like, 32, that's a suspiciously round number. I mean, if you're a computer science person, it's a suspiciously round number. And so that was part of me going, oh, I guess they're actually like doing something very specific with these. All right, so now we want to go. Now this will be faster. Teleport down. Don't even need to go to the shop because we hit the... No, we will need to go to the shop just because I don't need a scroll of detect. So I will need to go to the shop, just not right now. Alright. I don't know what that sound is. For some reason, I think that's the sound of a motor for these warp crystals. Alright. So now we are going to the place that kills the frame rate the most. So this is where you're going to get the full virtual Hydlide experience. 1 to 2 frames per second. Just as soon as we get there. Yeah, that free item on the overworld that I picked up was a fairy drop, or fairy tears, and that will warp me out of a dungeon later. A dungeon where it is not easy to get a death warp. I'll be death warping out of this dungeon because it is trivial to get a death warp in a dungeon that kills you instantly when you're not wearing the flame amulet. Come on, let me in there. But for now, we're just going to head in here and hope that this isn't too bad either. The volcano is not a rectilinear, randomly generated dungeon. So it can be a nightmare, including the possibilities of clips and occlusions for the overhead map. Because, just throw some stuff together and it's a dungeon. Surely that will work. All right. Oh, look. That's not good. All right. Well, let's get to it. I did put on the thing already, right? So I have no safeties. This is a bad dungeon. So yeah, even with the thing on, if any orange ground will hurt me while I'm on it. So I'm going to be slowly losing health on the way through, and we just hope I don't lose enough of it. Yeah, if you beat the vampire or buy a lamp, you can see a little better in here, but it doesn't change the frame rate either way. The polygons are placed and rendered even if there's no light that reaches them. The game doesn't have like a true effective like fog or light or anything like that. So you really just, things get rendered even if you can't see them. That's also not great without any healing stuff. Right, like I have to get all the way to the boss and then take no damage while I'm fighting them. Thankfully, you can save anywhere. So I'm pretty sure I'll be making a safety save before we fight the boss here. Assuming we get there without me burning alive. And you can see me turning in the menu here. I don't necessarily need to, but it keeps me from accidentally hitting orange ground while I'm turning. Which is helpful. It keeps me from getting lost as well, because sometimes there's cracks in the middle of the ground. Sometimes there's, just a whole bunch of things. Look at this map overhead. How the heck? Supposed to go. That's right. Can go down. Map won't tell you that. Alright. So hopefully this way works. Alright, hopefully this way works and isn't blocked. Okay. Did I guess the right direction? Yes. Yeah, all the things that look connected were not necessarily connected. Because, yeah, it's a bunch of random patterns. All right, this is plenty of life. I'm not concerned. I do need to put on a weapon, though. So we're going to have to remove that armor, wield that hammer, and since I'm here, I'm going to... Saving is quick, thankfully. All right, let's do this thing. Shield. Yep, this is Mad Dragon, and the best part about him is that you have to wait till the Mad Dragon gets close enough for you to hit. Unless you have 1 or 2 very specific weapons, one of which is very good and one of which is not particularly good at all. Yeah, we're still waiting, Dragon. Come on. There we go. There we go. Good enough. I mean, I have strafing and the Mad Dragon has strafing, so I guess that's fair. How are you not moving forward? This is the bad old way of having to do the dragon, and you can see why it might be slow. Oh! And that's why we made a safety save. If you had just stayed in front, we'd be done already. All right. Yeah. Still takes the full 20 seconds of loading, so if you have anything you'd like to say, host, as we go back into this same fight again.
Well, Vengeful Blade upon thee just donated $20. Thank you very much for your donations toward Nami. Looks like they donated towards the Ultima 2 incentive. We'll be getting to watch some runs of Ultima 2 and 3. Oh.
Switch away for a second. I know what caused this, I think, but I need to switch. I need a second.
All right, looks like we have a technical difficulty that we will be looking at. In the meantime, I know it's kind of the wee hours from where we are streaming here in the United States, but I did want to give some shout outs to the people involved with our foreign language restreams. So good morning to our French restream, which can be found at twitch.tv/LeFrenchRestream. And also good afternoon to our Japanese restream over at twitch.tv/Japanese_restream. If those restreams can help you better enjoy the marathon, please go over and check them out, and also just send them some love. Oh yes, and I was discussing the donation that went towards Ultima 2, Revenge of the Enchantress. We'll be running that game a little later on, as well as Ultima 3, Exodius, right directly after. And again, we've got plenty of naming incentives for both of those games. Coming up next with the 7th Saga, we do have some bid wars that you can contribute to. You can choose the partner. Right now, it looks like Wilm is winning by $200. But if you want Camille to step up to the plate instead, it is not too late to contribute to that. You can also name Lux. Right now, Clank is winning for $35. Second place is WRMCH, Warrior Machinist, I assume? We also have, for our next upcoming incentive, if you don't want to be bidding, we have cow percent Easter eggs as a bonus incentive for the return to Krondor. And as always, I just would like to remind everyone that all of these donations you submit through the donation form on our website goes towards NAMI. In an effort to support the mission statement of NAMI, we would like to encourage our viewers in chat and our donors to avoid mental health-related pejoratives when describing situations that are extraordinary. These include terms like crazy, insane, mental, nuts, bonkers, so on and so forth. We ask for you to be mindful of the specific language you use, as many people do not realize that these are pejoratives. Instead, consider substituting them with words such as amazing, ridiculous, wild, bananas, things like that. We greatly appreciate your cooperation with this and hope that you can carry this forward with your everyday lives. All right, it looks like we have resolved the issue. So let's go back and look at watch mechalink doing virtual Hydlide.
All right, thank you. Welcome back. Sometimes the way that you get around region protection on discs can be a little funny, but this is normally works. All right, so we're coming back into this Mad Dragon fight in 3, 2, 1, fight. All right. Again, we have to wait for it to close. And again, I don't get to wear any armor because the game has an encumbrance limit for what you're wearing. So very, very thoughtful. Yep. Yep. Come on. I need you to close in. Stop trying to kill me for a second and let me hit you. Oof. That was a fake out. That's real. So yeah, you can tell basically they roar and lower their heads when they're going to spit fire. If they roar but keep their head high, it's a fake out. Just really heavy on breathing today. They've been closing in and then breathing the entire time, which I mean, good for them tactically, but bad for us actually getting to play the rest of the game. There we go. But yeah, you can cancel a swing into a shield if things go that way. So you'll see me doing that sometimes. Now you're not breathing. Now you're just strafing. I need you to come forward. Yes. Forward is good. Mad Dragon's just chilling, staying warm. Just strafing out of the way. I need you to come back. Stop being caught on the geography and come back. By the way, all of this behavior is determined by the seed too. There's only one RNG in this game, and it's all based on that seed. So, this is your fault too. I blame all of you. Get back here. just going all the way to the back of the pool. Like... One forward, team. You backed yourself into an actual corner in the geography? Ow. Nope, they're past it now. All right. It is possible for them to decide to come forward. Almost got me there. You're so close to actually being hittable.
Well, maybe if it was the donations that got us in this position, maybe some more donations can get us to finally be able to hit these dragons.
Wait, does this have a longer reach? It does. It doesn't stun, but it has a longer reach. Just barely. Today I've learned. But yeah, please, any donation, anything that gets me past this mad dragon fight would be lovely. All right, they backed up too far. They can come back. Yeah. Each of the 3 ways you can attack has a different amount of power. And so this third one is the one that is the most damaging. And we're finally there. Woo! All right. Having done that, a thing that looks like an amulet will fall from the sky. It's actually a flute. Don't worry about it. I'm going to take off this flame amulet. I'm going to death warp. And you've seen all this before, so host, if you've got anything you'd like to say, as Jim is carted out to the beginning of the volcano somehow.
Well, RPG Limit Break is proud to partner with the Yeti, who have designed 3 exclusive t-shirts and an enamel pin for this year. If you'd like to see these awesome designs, they really do look really cool. I have purchased a shirt myself. Please visit theyeti.com/RPGLB and check them out. Remember, these items will only be available for the duration of this marathon. So get yours before it's too late.
All right. This is the one dungeon you can back out of. The rest of them won't let you do it, or they won't let you do it quickly. Why? I don't know. All right, so now we've got the thing we need to go to the dungeon that's on a mountain, which is unique in its location. It's right up there, which is not particularly close. Love it. Love that for us. Okay, I do need to stop by the shop to get a scroll of detect, and I don't care where it is. It would be faster to go to the shop than to search the entirety of the castle for the required weapon to beat the game. Well, it's not required, but it's required to beat the game in, less than any reasonable amount of time. But yeah, the game's encumbrance system is actually, it's random. So like you get a little more ability to carry and weigh stuff, and it's not consistent. So it's possible to get seeds where you can't wear all of your gear, like even if it's lighter than the Warhammer, when you want to. Especially if you skip dungeons, because level ups are where you get extra gear notes. You tricked me, Tom Sawyer. All right, so we're gonna stop by the shop. We're gonna buy stuff we don't need, but that should hopefully speed us up. And then we're off to the sealed caverns.
So it looks like we can thank the killing of that dragon to Eris TGD, who donated another $15, saying, donating $5 per rude head on this dragon.
Thank you.
So thank you for getting us out of there.
Yes, thank you very much. It's been a long time since I've had a dragon fight that unpleasant. All right, so this is the shop. It looks just like a warp crystal, but it doesn't make noise. And we are going to buy Stone of Fighter. We are going to buy the Scroll of Detect. And then we get to buy a ton of safeties. Look, that's way too many safeties, honestly, but whatever. You don't have anything else to spend that money on. All right, so now we are headed to the thing on the mountain, which is down that way. All right. Think. Sometimes I get confused with the directions near the edge of the map. See what I mean? All right. Yeah, this is another world is square donut world. As per usual. I don't really love this overworld music as much as I enjoy the original. Even as repetitive as the original's music is. That's another thing. In the original, the slimes changed after you'd gotten so many levels. They kind of maintained that behavior here with those silver slimes. That's a Trant, and I'm not interested in Trants. All right. Somewhere around here. Yep. Just on this side is the next to last dungeon. So we just square up, play that flute. Running in here is slower than just walking through that door. If you run, you'll hit the door sides. Don't ask me why. I really don't know what's going on with the polygons there. All right, so now we've got a 5-floor dungeon to go through, and the first floor is full of mimics. Which reminds me, I should probably put my armor back on. I don't need my weapon on right now. I need my armor on. All right. There we go. You go on too. We'll need that Stone of Fighter later, so I'm just putting it on now. That's Mimic. Yeah, this first, like, I never even bothered to try and pick up anything on this floor just because they're all mimics. Like, you might think that one's not a mimic, but you'd be wrong.
We did just get a donation come in from Kanban Meow saying donating $3 for each frame on the overworld times each head on the of the cursed dragon. Now that we're back in the force, though, I think I may have overshot my math. Donation goes towards Runner's Choice. Where would you like that?
Runner's Choice is to make Dragon Dark play with Camel in the upcoming run. So donate enough to Runner's Choice and we can make that happen. As Dragon Dark noted, that Wilme is the best character, and if Wilme is the best character, Camel can't be the best character. So if you want to see more pain, you have to vote for, you have to try and make Camel win that bid war. So I'm putting it to that. In the meantime, though, there's a song that I'm sure all of the staff knows regarding Hydlide, and this minecart is the best place to put it in, I think. So, 1, 2, 3. It's a Hydlide, it's Hydlide. It's a Hydlide, it's heckin' Hydlide. It's a Hydlide, it's Hydlide. Hydlide, it's heckin' Hydlide. It's a Hydlide, it's Hydlide. It's Hydlide, it's heckin' Hydlide. It's a Hydlide, it's Hydlide. Hydlide, it's heckin' Hydlide. And we're done. All right. Yeah, some people say that the Hydlide scene sounds a little like another a movie series that had some minecart sections of its own. I don't know how much stock I put in that, although sometimes I do get the two confused myself. All right, so onward through the dungeon we go. Any donations or blurbs you'd like to say? It's all pretty much going to be this, unless we run into a cloud of poison gas, and then things will get a little more interesting.
All right, well, just to give an update on the 7th Saga Choose a Partner, so that puts Camel at 106 versus Wilm's $200.
But remember, there's actually 66 cents in there. So like if you donate whole dollar values, we will win by 66 cents on the Camel thing.
Not a bad strategy for donation bidding for sure.
All right, 4th floor. This floor there is both a rail cart way out, which doesn't lead to the boss, and the hole. The hole can actually be very close to the beginning, so this floor is actually the only one that's really variable. All the others, you have to go from top to bottom. But in this one, the hole, like that hole up there that I'm going to be going towards, can be much, much lower in the map. So this floor can actually be very short. And in an ideal seed, it would be. This is not the ideal seed. But when you're seed hunting, that's one of the things I'm always looking for is, and since this is all rectilinear, it's like how many times do you have to backtrack, right? Like, the ideal run doesn't involve any backtracking in your pathing and a short floor of 4. Where like, we can dream. The best seed I have definitely does not have everything perfect. All right. All right, so this floor involves another boss that gives a lot of trouble, but this one we've learned some manipulation strats that can help us make it less trouble. Dragon, we don't really have any manips we can do in general. I'm going to safety save this as well because the time loss would be too great to bear if I had to run through that whole dungeon again, especially given the difficulties we had earlier. All right, so this is the mage. You can only hit him when he's on the ground. He will throw fireballs at you when he's on the ground. Therefore, you must hit him first. He sits down on the ground on his own time, so that's not great. But we can induce him by basically just like getting up in his face all the time. Sometimes we can induce him to set down repeatedly. So let's get moving. I'm going to need to equip a weapon. That's probably going to help out here. punch is not that great. So we are going to have to take off the armor again. All right. All right, buddy. Okay, that's a fake out because he's a jerk. And that's what we want to see, and we want to see him do it multiple times. That's the right idea, but you need to do it a little farther away from me so you'll stay down. See what I mean, though? We are actually kind of inducing him to set down, right? And so we just need to stay out of his box, or like his collision box when we do it. Right? And we can speed up what is essentially a teleporter battle by doing this well. Of course, with such a slow weapon, if I'm not actually in his hit range, I have to be on the ball. And of course, he's set down before I could try and hit him. In higher difficulties, he doesn't actually bounce when you hit him. So you have to hit him and then block. Yeah, this is the Evil Mage. And until Author Blues, Zophar, and I kind of figured out that this was possible, the previous way of doing it was just kind of getting a really good weapon and kind of holding in the center and hoping that he sets down quickly. So this is one of the, even though we can't use a fixed seed, this is one of the developments in the last year and a half of Virtual Hydlide running progress. There is tech, even when you can only do it at 3 frames a second. Those frames are valuable. That was close. Yeah, all of those you have no iframes. All of those fireballs are willing to hit you. Right. Yeah, I'm actually pretty practiced at doing this with a heavy weapon. Most people don't want to use heavy weapons because they're slow. But there was a long time before we found our most recent seed that I did this with a heavy axe for the world record route. So just have to be on point on your swing, on your shield cancels, in case you miss. Whoa, that was interesting. I hit him and he didn't jump immediately. I could have hit him twice there in theory, if I could do it fast enough. Interesting. Always learning things, even in Virtual Hydlide. One more hit will do it, and we will be past this annoyance. All right. Whew. All right. We are smooth sailing to the end of the game now, really. Well, there's one little hurdle, and it's fun. There's another procedurally generated maze that we have to find a weapon in, and it's faster than not finding the weapon. But this is why we got the fairy drop. We wanted the fairy drop tiers earlier, because we can just get out of this dungeon and move on with our lives. So if we've got anything the host wants to talk about, by all means, Age of Deeds.
Well, I talked about the Yeti store shirts that are awesome. I also want to point out we actually did launch our very own merchandise store for RPG LB merch. We've got hoodies, there's coffee mugs, there's even fanny packs, and yes, I'm calling them fanny packs because I am American, but you're sure to find your new favorite RPG Limit Break band gear over. Just go to store.rpglimitbreak.com. Again, that's store, store.rpglimitbreak.com.
Oh, when I saw the fanny packs, I knew that they had they knew their audience right there when I saw those on the store. Like, yes, you know what we want, and it's more storage. I know I do. All right, so because our compass is broken, this might be a little touchy to find. But there's a tablet that we're supposed to put the Tears of the Earth in, and it's adjacent to that big body of water. But I have fallen down on the job and that I have not memorized. There are 5 base maps, and they can be rotated. I do not recognize this map off the top of my head. If I did, I'd know exactly where this one is. So, because a few things are fixed on the maps, even though a lot of it is randomly generated, and one of them is this location. All right. I'm going to start from this side. Yes! Good read, good read. All right. So, all right, no turning back from here. There is no way out but the end of the game once you enter this place with 2 fairies in hand. Which we do have, because we found the fairy forest earlier. All right. So the first part is a teleporter maze that barely deserves the name, because it's not particularly annoying, and most of the time it's pretty straightforward. Of course, I'm going to get punished by it not being most of the time. So yeah, we'll just move as far as we can to get as close to the center, because the exit is not like on the far corner; it's in the center. So we're gonna move here. Map check. Yeah, I like this. And we should be done. Yep. Woo! Tough teleporter maze right there. All right, here's the actual maze. Sliding blocks, flashing lights, enemies you can't permanently kill. This is not great. And in all of this, we have to find a treasure chest. Because it has the best weapon in the game, and it's not close. So which way do I go first? I guess it's north? Oh yeah, you get a lot of frames here. 2 frames a second, maybe? If I'm generous? Alright. So yep, oh, by the way, there's mimics all over on this floor too, so if you don't use a scroll of detect, not only do you have to find the good chest, you have to not get eaten by the bad ones. We are looking for a sword. The tool is... we also want a Stone of Fighter, but I already bought that because I had an excess of money earlier. We do not need money now, and that's everything. So that guy at the end of the corridor is a cheat, is a mimic, and we will say no thank you. Mimics are also quite the pain in 7th Saga. They know how to deliver a good hit, so I don't know if Dragon Dark risks any in their run, but if you know the pain of a giant fist popping out of a chest and clobbering you in 7th Saga, yeah. These mimics have status effects too. So do those. They have the poison strike. All right, let's see. Come on, sword. We want to see a sword. Scroll is not a sword. Yep, this is just, randomizer, trying not to land last location stuff. All right. And trying not to accidentally open a mimic. The run button is the interact button, by the way. Just in case you wanted to be like, oh, quickly, let me jam the interact button, and then you run away from the chest, and you're like, wait, no. I didn't want to go away from it. That's why you might see kind of some odd movement around trying to get a chest to open, is because I move when the X button is down, and suddenly it's like, great, I know what you wanted to do, and it's definitely run from the chest. All right. Okay. Yep, these skeletons require holy damage to stay down. So either you have to re-equip the crucifix, which I am absolutely not doing, or you need to find a holy weapon. We are looking for a holy weapon. That's not it. Okay, that ring on the ground is cute. Sword. Ugh. All right, so it's on the right side. Note I still haven't put my armor back on. I am very used to doing these runs with minimal or no armor. Because again, everything is heavy. When you do certain runs. That does mean, however, that I will melt if something traps me. Okay, you know what? Let's try the best place for it to be. If you... Another ring on the ground? Really? Is that what we're doing today, game? Alright, buddy. If you're the sword, I should have just trusted the game. Oh, are you kidding me? Alright. There it was. I didn't last location it, but it's still embarrassing. Sword of Light. Ring of Protection. I will be using that to boost my mighty leather armor to leather armor +2. Yeah. I did pick up another ring earlier. What kind of ring was that? Oh, just a second ring of power? Alright. Yeah, I can put on my armor and my shield at the same time now. Can you believe it? Alright. Sona Fighter is what we want equipped. Alright. We are good to go. Nothing stopping us from the last game except for the four boss rush that is between us and the end of the game. We'll get to see the seed's namesake shortly. In the original Hydlide, eels, the first 3 letters of the name, were just a menace in the waterways, which you could swim through. That is no longer the case. You can't go in the waterways, as you saw by me not doing so. But they knew that we would ride if they didn't have the eel in the game, because it is kind of iconic for that game. So they gave us the eel as the boss of this castle. That's a mimic. Very sharp teeth. Very dangerous. Do not want. That's a real chest. Okay. And so you might have noticed that I was shooting 3 bolts of light. Yeah, that's why this is the best weapon, is because with the Stone of Fighter, normally you would shoot 1, and with the Stone of Fighter you shoot 3, and the amount of damage output that has is well beyond anything else in the game can even imagine. So like that's why it's worth the effort, is just... You'll see the bosses take hits here, and just imagine if you were doing, at best, 1/3 of that damage and only in melee. So yeah, the eel has gained electric attacks. Again, a teleporting boss, because every boss in this game is a teleporting boss, and I'm not joking. Like, the closest to not being teleporting boss is Mad Dragon, and they're just a boss you can only hit, you know, a teleporter's % of the time. Ow. Ow. Stop it. We're in pretty good shape here. Alright, we'll get him this cycle. Come on up. There we go. Alright, eel is down. Now, if you haven't rescued the other 2 fairies by now, you'll get teleported outside the castle and you'll have to go do the fairy forest. In higher difficulties, you don't get that hot and cold pinging until now. So like if you're doing on the higher difficulties, and you're doing it casually, like you're supposed to do the 3rd one after. But as speedrunners, A, we would have mapped out the seed to know which tree it's on, and B, that's slower than just having all 3 of them take you to the final dungeon right here. Alright, orb for Jim. And we are off to the orb. There are 5 orbs in the vampire's castle, but we skipped that because it's slow as heck. Alright, Fortress of Verilus, welcome to the pink fleshy dungeon. You not like pink fleshy dungeons? I'm sorry, Hydlide added one. It wasn't like this in the original. All right. Pink fleshy dungeon. You never saw this boss before, but he's got more power than you did last time when you would have faced him earlier. The bats have a chance to paralyze you, and there is no cure for paralysis in any normal play of this game. All right, vampire's down. The first time you beat him, he flies away. This time, he doesn't fly away. So if you want to get out of here fast, look for the wall that's not breathing. Right? Because the breathing walls are real, and the fake ones, there's this one. It's going to go away in a second. So you're welcome, now that you can see that the walls breathe. You'll see the walls breathe again when I enter this. See? Breathing. Oh, it's this guy again, except he's got ads. He can also resurrect these ads. And heal himself for a quarter of his life. That makes the harder difficulties, where he doesn't get stunned, incredibly difficult. Yeah. But again, you can see, like, the amount of damage I've done with one barrage of the Sword of Light is already just immense. Like, you can beat the last bosses without this, but it is a much, much slower grind. And again, we're inducing him to set down. Actually, I've beaten so few levels that I should be able to stab and blast him. In theory. No, maybe not. Alright. And that was way easier. Alright, final boss time. If you don't like looking at breathing walls, look at the one that's green there. The green one's the fake one. Just slightly green. Alright. This is the final boss, Verilus. You can gather 3 jewels to make him weaker. We didn't bother. We're just going to do it the old-fashioned way. Barraging him with balls of light. He has 3 attacks. One is the green thing that we saw from the vampire. One is a black ball that takes longer to charge up and does more damage. One is a rapid-fire Vegeta-style thing that will kill you if you don't shield. Ideally, we get 6 hits without crits, because crits make him reroll his AI. Time is on last hit. So let's see it go. All right, he teleported away. That's fine. He also sometimes, like, laughs like an idiot. And that's usually good for us. All right, one more solid hit like this. And we're done! That is time on Virtual Hydlide. Whew. Not my best time, but that was a really rough mad drop. I'm not gonna lie. And here's where all the budget for the movie went. Look, like, this is more than 4 frames a second. Like, look at all these frames. All the frames are at the end. And the mocap. And the amount they spent on the princess's dress. Look at this dress. It's real. Like, this is a wedding dress. As soon as she shows up. There we go. Look at all that. Look at all that. They spent all the budget there, really. And the old green screen with the hair. Oh, yeah. This is quality 1995 FMV workmanship. You just don't get them like that nowadays. And then, poof. Suddenly the dungeon is gone. And that is Virtual Highlight for the Sega Saturn. Random seed, so generously donated for by you all. I'd like to thank RPG Limit Break for the chance to do this. It's been a few years, but it's always a good time when you can bring it home. And Zofar for being my rival in this game for the past year and a half. And anybody who donated, anybody who said that this should be here, you were all appreciated. Anybody who watched, I enjoy you all. We have 7th Saga up next, which I will be coming for because I love that game almost as much as I love Virtual Hydlide. So let's get that going, because we've got hours of delicious Super Nintendo pain to go for, all in Mode 7.
Thank you you so much, Mechalink, and great thinking on your end to help save the run earlier. We are going to be sending you over to some more Twitch ads in a moment here. If you do not want to see those, now is your chance to subscribe so that you can cat jam along to the OC remix instead. And with that, this is the end of my last host session for RPG Limit Break this year. It has been a pleasure. But not to worry, Legrand will be taking over for me after the break. Have a good night, RPG Limit Break.
Welcome back everyone to RPG Limit Break. I'm going to be your host for the next run, the 7th saga, all the way from France. I am Legrand, and I'd like to also thank Silverdeeds for her amazing hosting earlier on the previous run. You are currently watching live RPG Limit Break 2024, coming to you live from Salt Lake City, Utah, where we are raising money for NAMI, or the National Alliance on Mental Illness. NAMI was formed in 1979 as a grassroots advocacy organization by a group of parents whose children suffered with serious mental illnesses, and they have maintained that focus to this day. I would like to remind you that before the run starts, there is an incentive to rename the main character. Right now, I believe the name in the lead is Clank with $35. So you definitely have some time to actually change the name for Lux. You can also change the name of the partner. For right now, it's Wilme with $200 in the lead, but you still definitely have some time to actually change that. If you donate for RPG Limit Break, this year there is going to be a few prizes available for you. The big one that's been running since the start of the marathon is this beautiful Buster Sword replica. Very, very big. It's going to be a minimum $250 cumulative submission donation. In order to get it, you also get some detachable material that you can put in and change on your Buster Sword. It's absolutely fantastic. I've seen it. It's right behind me right now, and it's absolutely gorgeous. You also get for 75 cumulative donation, the possibility to get the Whaler plush that is right now on your screen. It's it's a big plush, and it's definitely fantastic. And then a few other prizes that are going to be available up to the end of Personnel 4 Golden, which is going to happen in a few hours. So you're going to have a Personnel 4 print with a minimum bid of $5. Also a Personnel 5 Get Smoked hat with the same minimum $5 bid donation. A Personnel 4 Steam Key for $5, as well as a Persona Arcana wall clock, which looks absolutely fantastic for, again, $5. So if you're interested in any of those prices, don't hesitate to donate for NAMI and make... it will be a pleasure for me to actually read your donation. All right, everyone. We are going to do a short stream reset, so don't leave the stream yet. It's going to come back right after, and if you are going to have trouble reloading, just hit the refresh button, and we'll be back in a few seconds.